Welcome back to another Mommy and Me Monday episode. I am your girl, Brii Renee, straight from the A, and this is
Miss Renee.
Miss Renee, my mom. If you are new here, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay up to date. Turn on those post notifications so you never miss a Mommy and Me Monday. So, jumping right into today's episode, we finna spill all the tea.
All the tea? Can we keep some of it?
Now we're gonna get into all of y'all business.
Why you got to get all in my business? I ain't in all of yours.
It's my business too.
Mm.
Your business is my business because it trickled down on me. So, anyways, as we've talked about in a previous episode, we spoke a little bit about your journey going through IUI and choosing a sperm donor and things like that for the creation of moi. But not only, we're gonna go a little bit into it because a lot of people are like, well, why does she have to do that, or what was the point of that? And it's because my mom is gay. I feel so weird even just saying that, like, to the public.
Why? Because it's like
No, not. I don't feel weird saying it. I think because you're sitting right here, it's like I'm talking about you, but I don't know. But anyway, so my mom is gay. She's been gay my entire life. So I grew up with like a mom, her previous partner, which is like my other mom, and then her partner who she's with now, who she's been with for another 20 years, which is like another bonus mom. So I have like, I explain it to people as like I have a mom, a dad, and a stepdad. Like if your mom got remarried in the middle of your lifetime, so that kind of way people understands it. But a lot has changed. You know, I'm a 90s baby, so of course in the 90s, being gay was not like cool.
people have been gay since the Bible. I mean, come on.
People have always been gay for
People
sure.
have always been gay. It's just a
But
preference.
it is a preference, but I feel like people weren't open, or it wasn't like publicized, and there weren't movements.
It wasn't acceptable.
It wasn't.
It wasn't that acceptable
It wasn't
in
acceptable.
the 90s, but to some. My life has always been an open book. I've never been ashamed of who I am and who I choose to love.
I love that about you.
And it just, it is what it is.
And I feel like, honestly, I do tell people all the time, me having 3 moms is probably why I am the most coolest, well-rounded, fully.
Bring it down. Bring
No.
it down a notch. Bring it down a notch.
I do feel like having 3 moms made me a super well-rounded woman. Having 3 black women that are completely different raising me, I think made me way more well-rounded than just having one black woman raise you.
Yeah, because you're getting life from a lot of different perspectives.
Yeah, because like I get my ambition from you. I feel like I get my soft, loving side from my nana. I think I get my flyness and dress to impress and finesse a little bit from Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you all mixed up made me who I am today.
Okay, well, you're lucky.
So I'm grateful.
You're lucky.
But we got to talk about like what that must have been like choosing to have a child in the 90s in that climate. Like, what type of stigmas do you think people put on you, or like people yelling things in the street? Or
I really didn't.
Like,
I really didn't give a shit about what people were saying, or their thoughts, or the stigma, or the issues that other people have, or had, or has.
But you had to hear it.
No, I didn't value other people's opinion that much.
Not to say you valued it, but I know people said things.
I didn't listen. I tuned people out because I grew up knowing and understanding that everybody got an opinion, just like everybody got an asshole. And is it going to matter to me? No. I mean, I didn't care,
right.
Because I can say some other things. What they eat doesn't make me go to the toilet.
Right.
What people think or thoughts of me is not going to have a bearing on my life or what I do.
I think gay people are the most confident people in the world, though.
Well, I don't know if it's confidence. It's just that, hey, you realize growing up that I was when I knew that my attraction was for another woman. Did I think about it? Yeah. Was I scared about it? Yeah. Was I afraid that the world was looking at me crazy or was going to know? Or yeah, I went through those things psychologically. I mean, as a kid growing, I knew I was gay when I was 15 years old. And I was actually, and some people say, well, I was turned out at 15. Well, yeah, because my first encounter was with a much older woman that I was kind of taken back a little bit by, but I was still curious and I went into it. And a lot of people think, okay, kids experiment, you go through phases. But and I wanted to be very honest and very open about, yeah, I dated guys. I dated plenty of guys. I went with one guy from the third grade down through high school. So I mean, there were other guys in between, and then there were
I
even
feel
guys
like you would stand a chance
that
dating these niggas.
that
I
were
feel like
even
they
guys
would run
that
circles around you.
no, they won't.
Yes.
No, you might think that, but I think it's the other way around.
Even
I
guys.
may run circles around them. I mean, because men are all the same. You just got one different height, one little taller one, but at the end of the day, they're all the damn same.
But you be so smitten. Like when I bring guys home or if I introduce you, you be like, oh, how you just like start like liking them. And I'm like, Ma, he's full of crap. Like
okay, that might be true, but I've always believed in giving a person an honest shot. And until they show everybody has an A until they make an F.
oh, see, no, these dudes
So
you gotta start with the F.
okay, and then they
And
have to
work
earn the
their
A.
A.
Okay, then that's the change in the generations,
For
But
sure.
I went through phases of trying to figure out who I was and whether or not this was a fad or was I really serious about this. And I went with what I felt comfortable with and what I enjoyed most, and then it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't regret it. I don't, that was a choice that I made. I don't try to push my choices and my decisions on anybody. Never have, never will.
So
But at the end of the
at 15. So then when did you tell your mom?
when my brother,
what is coming out? What did that look like for you?
my brother, who's deceased now, he was also gay. He and I found ourselves in a nightclub together one night.
You didn't know he was gay.
I didn't know he was, and he didn't know I was. So I walk into this nightclub, and it used to be a banging nightclub in Atlanta. I don't know if all of you from Atlanta used to play a nightclub called Numbers. I walked into Numbers, and Numbers are one of those clubs that you could go in and you could hear house music from, 8 or 9 o'clock in the night, time the sun went down until 7 o'clock in the morning. So I was in this club and we're just dancing and partying, and I happened to look through the crowd and I saw my brother standing there, and I looked at him and I ran up to him like, what the hell are you doing here? He said, no, what the hell are you doing here? And we kind of bust out laughing and we kind of sat down and we had a conversation and we talked and we came out to each other. And so he and I then would go out partying together every weekend. We didn't go partying without each other. And so finally, after, some time, he says, look, I think I'm going to have a conversation with Mom and I'm just going to tell her what the deal is. I said, well, if you're going to tell her, I'm going to tell her too. So he said, okay. So we planned to talk to Mama. We took her downstairs in the basement one day. We sat her down. And
I thought that hold up. I thought that he said, if I'm going to tell her, you got to tell her too.
No, it was, I agreed to tell her. I just agreed to tell her. So we were sitting down talking with her, and he says, Mama, got something to tell you. He says, I want to tell you, that I have a preference for guys. And she went to this holy roller spiel before she got too deep into it. I said, oh, by the way, I am too. And she just fell out, oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, help me, Lord Jesus.
And she started.
Satan doesn't lie. She went to preaching and carrying on, and so we sit there and we listen. It's funny now, thinking back on it, but, she says, pray it out of y'all. She thought she could pray it out of us. And she said, that, maybe it's just a thing we're going through, and we told her no, it wasn't. We didn't think it was a thing. We think that that's what we were, and that's
50 years later.
Yeah, and so it's still
that phase ain't left.
It ain't left yet. So we sat and we talked, and she kind of after she kind of came back from the holy roller route, we had a conversation, and she kind of asked us about some of our preferences and things of that nature, and we shared it with her, and she was like, she wanted us to know that she was open. She didn't ever want us to feel as if we couldn't be safe at home. She didn't want us to be out in the street partying. We could always bring our friends home. Don't be embarrassed to bring our friends and our family and our mates around. And so we were never embarrassed. We had some of the best parties at home with our gay friends, and
The best parties.
my brother could throw a party on the spur of a dime. He could, we could decide to have a party at 5 o'clock that afternoon, and by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, the house was packed,
full of people.
So we enjoyed our adulthood coming up. We were always comfortable with Mama. We talked to Mama. We made sure anybody we were involved with, we brought our partners around, and we had to prove to Mama that they were respectful. We were not just out in the street, just acting a fool. So it was okay. Mama never made us feel ashamed of loving who we loved. She never made us feel that way. So, did she like it? I could say initially it took a lot for her to embrace, but it was a way of life. We were her children. We were the same children she bore and raised, and none of our principles and our ethics or anything changed. We were the same children. We just chose to love somebody of the same sex.
What advice would you give to a mom out there who, because people are
let me tell you something. I have a friend who I had a friend who was supposed to be one of my good ride or dies, right? And this is a conversation we had probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Her son was going off to college. And she's all in my face talking to me about how much she loved me and how much our friendship, means to her, blah, blah, blah. So in the midst of the conversation, she says she's having issues because she thinks her son is gay. And I said, okay, well, if you think, what's the problem? Well, I just can't accept, and I had to say, hold the hell up. How can you sit in my face and tell me about how we friends, we girls, we've been rocking and we've been riding it down, we've been holding each other down, but all of a sudden you tell me you got a problem with your son because you know that I'm gay. I don't hide it, but I don't wear it on my back either. Mm-hmm. But I let anybody know that's in my circle, this is who I am. Either you accept me or you don't accept me. So that was a bit distasteful for me, and I had to back away from her because I said, I think she was a hypocrite. She was a true hypocrite.
I think a lot of people are okay with it as long as you they homie, they friend, you cute, you fun.
But just don't let the gayness touch their back, that door. I think they're not secure. They're not secure in who they are, mm-hmm. and they don't know what they stand for.
Right.
You see, and I think her, and then to think about it, when I think about, she's miserable in her relationship.
Right.
She was miserable. It wasn't fulfilling. But I also tell you this now. I confronted her during the course of that conversation. I said, well, how can you be? Because she made a sly remark about. I told her that when she started to drink, I thought she got a little frisky. She got a little too touchy feely, and
she was coming on to you.
Well, I won't say she was coming on to me.
She a drunk gay.
Well, I won't say she was coming on to me, and no, she doesn't identify herself as being gay.
Yeah, but
she identifies herself as being totally heterosexual.
Right. But we all heterosexual homegirls. We all got a homegirl that's drunk gay. She get a little too drunk, then she all in your face, want to touch you, kiss you. It's like, back the hell up.
Right. And I was like, wait a minute now. You try to get frisky, because I know for a fact, if I was that tight, first of all, I wasn't attracted to her, but if I was that tight,
you wouldn't even my tight, sis.
We could have, done whatever, but that wasn't me. But for you to come back on the same breath and talk about you had a problem with your son, I just went in on her. And I was like, don't call me. I didn't tell her not to call me no more, but I just put the brakes on it. I don't want to be around those closed-minded people that way. And this is your son?
Yeah.
And I think about my mama having to deal with a son and a daughter, and how opening. And my mama wasn't. I mean, this shit was new to my mama. My mama didn't know nothing about gayness, nor having damn children that was gay. She didn't know nothing about how to raise that. But at the end of the day,
an old Southern Christian,
right? But at the end of the day, her thing was this: You are my children. I brought you in this world. I love you. I know who you are.
Right.
You know, and I'm not going to turn my back on you because you choose to love somebody of the opposite sex. And a lot of parents are fucked up in the head and do that to their children. Yeah. That's why you got a lot of kids running around here homeless or outdoors, sleeping in shelters or not, that don't feel love. You know, back in the 80s and back in the 70s and the 80s, you know, you got more kids that were out in the street trying to find themselves because the daddies were like, you can't come to my house. And the mom was like, well, you get out of here because you're gay and that's not acceptable. And they're all fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Instead of embracing their children and helping them grow through it or get through it or, you know, feel comfortable with who they are and embracing them and their friends or encouraging them to still be the best version of themselves, they got caught up into who their kids love.
Yeah.
Or the affection that their kids feel for somebody else that doesn't look like what they think it should look like.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing even when people bring home like someone of their different race.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can't choose who your child loves.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a boy, girl, cat, dog, black, white.
That brings me to that, you know, that funny part about, you know, You People movie.
Yeah.
That was a perfect example.
Yeah.
They did all of that to ruin those kids' relationship. And at the end of the day, guess what they had to do? They realized that they had to take a step back and allow those kids to love who they love.
Yeah.
You know, so I say the parents who are so, you know, so like my mom used to say, they're so earthly. They're so religious, so earthly religious that they're no heavenly good. You know, all these people that just.
Well, I never heard that earthly religious that you're no heavenly good.
No, I mean because you know they want to be so religious. Oh, God's gonna this and that's gonna happen, and you know that's you know that's not normal, and you know that's a sin, and you know when I think about it, hell, we've all sinned. Show me somebody who's perfect.
Yeah.
Show me somebody who's perfect on this earth.
Do you?
And I'll show you a liar.
Right. Do you really feel like gayness is a sin?
No.
Like when it comes to, because I was raised Christian, you took us to church every week.
Sunday, absolutely.
Yeah, so like, according people who I've never seen the scripture, I know they say like a man who found a wife found a good thing, or like, you know, I don't know where in the Bible where it speaks about homosexuality. I've never seen that scripture. Usually when people argue me down, I'd be like, well, show me in the Bible.
And they can't.
They can't. But what do you think? I think although I am a Christian, I do subscribe to that religion. I do feel like a lot of it is used to control people.
Absolutely.
Because you got to think, this is the same Bible that women weren't even allowed to read when it first came out. I don't think y'all know that, but if you look, I watched it and read up on it because of the History Channel, and I was like, wait, what? Women were not allowed to read the Bible when the Bible was being written and crafted.
There are countries today that don't allow their religious countries,
right? And this
whether it's Christianity or whether it's
Islam,
whatever, don't allow women to read.
Right.
I mean, so,
and this is also the same exact Bible that was used against us as black people in slavery. So like these words can be twisted, I'm saying, based on whoever the interpreter is to mean whatever you want it to mean. So I feel like people use these words sometimes to twist and say that homosexuality is wrong, because I just don't believe that God would make this many gay people and it'd be a problem.
I've heard even the religious people say, you know, homosexuality is an abomination. You know, brings me back to a particular preacher in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. This mega preacher going around town, him and a couple other well-known preachers, mm-hmm. talking about marching, talking about the damnation of homosexuality and blah, blah, blah. You know, this whole.
Yeah.
And then it later came out that he was sleeping with little boys. Mm. Okay? So I find...
We know who that was, don't we?
So I find it very interesting that all the gay bashers mm-hmm. turn out to be gay.
Right.
90% of them.
I think they be fighting.
They're fighting their tendencies.
Ooh.
And not afraid to just be who they are and love who they love.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is so wrong. You know, as a parent, do not deny your children that opportunity. And you know what I love? You know what I truly love? My hat is off to Dwayne Wade and Gabriel Union because they've embraced his son, his sexuality.
Well, I think he identifies as a girl now.
Oh, I don't care what. I love it. I love it because you know what it says? You know what it says?
I love you regardless.
I love you regardless, and they're doing it their way. They're not letting society dictate to them and tell them what they should do and what they shouldn't do as parents. Because I wouldn't let nobody tell me that. Yeah. You know, and I remember my mama telling me back when I was a little girl, you know, be who I am. My core values in life didn't change.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that she told me you don't steal, you don't kill, you know, the commandments, you know, you respect your mothers, you respect your elders, you know, you go to school, you do. Those values didn't change.
Yeah.
Only thing that changed is who I choose to love, who I choose to choose as a partner. And that to me is important. I won't give it, you know, let's stop putting so much into it. You know, and then you know what makes me feel good? When a lot of your friends have come around and people I've met have come around and they've seen me and my partner now, my ex-partner, you know, and they say, well, wow, you know, I didn't know gay people could have, you know, a meaningful life.
What?
Right. You know, and I'm serious. Some people be like, wow, I didn't know you could build a life being gay like that. I mean, like,
it's the ignorance.
Right, it's the ignorance. Why could we build that type of life? You know, we both work. We both, you know, pour into each other. We believe in the same things that a lot of all the heterosexual believe. We monogamy, you know, we're committed to one another.
Yeah.
You know,
family structure.
You know, we pay our bills the same way. We buy things the same way. You know, and in some instances,
it's better.
It's better.
That's what you're saying. Yeah,
I was looking for.
No, it's better. As a heterosexual child that had, or an adult now that has grown up in a household with two women.
And, you know, and let me, excuse me for cutting you off. A lot of ignorance, a lot of ignorant people, men and women, think that, oh, if kids are raised in a gay household.
I was going to say that. Yeah, we're going to get to that. But back to your point about it being better. Being raised in this household, I feel like it's extremely hard for me now to have a relationship with men because my standard of what a healthy relationship is supposed to be like is so high, and most men have never, or most people have never seen a healthy relationship like that because they mom and daddy was just staying together because they had kids, or you know what I mean.
But the daddy was running around cheating on the mom. Mama stepping out on the daddy, or they fighting everything.
They fighting. The daddy a drunk, or the mom. It's so much dysfunction in those traditional households, and now I didn't grow up with all of that dysfunction for the most part. You know, I still had my ghetto black mama, so you know, trauma. Surviving black mama.
You had your dictator mama. Go ahead.
Surviving black moms coming to lifetime. We still working on that one. But anyways, yeah. But I grew up with a pretty safe, sound, and positive environment with a healthy relationship as an example. And now that I try to live and find that, it's very hard. It's extremely hard. So I do feel like, and I have said to you plenty of times, I wish I was gay. I think it would be so much easier. Gay women trick off on each other way better. Like I got two gay homegirls, they be buying each other lavish stuff. But as a woman, me trying to get a man to do that, he act like I'm just the gold digger from the pits of hell. And it's just so, and it's like, no, I want to do these things for you too. But it's just so difficult now with men and women in our dating that I do often be like, I wish I was attracted to women, or I wish I was gay. Which brings us back to another point that, like you said, growing up, so many people, you know how many times I remember the first time I knew you were gay since I was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. around maybe even younger than that. I have a
But we just didn't talk about it.
you never talked about it. We never had a conversation. But I remember my older sister, she 9 years older than me. She on the phone caking with a little boy, nappy headed boy from high school, and she on the phone like, yeah, my mama gay. And when she hung up the phone, I was like, what do that mean? And she was like, well, you know how you got two moms or mom and a nana? That's not normal. And I was like, it's not? She was like, no, everybody got a mama or a daddy. And I was like, oh, you're right. I don't got a daddy. Like, that's different. Like, I didn't never think about it, right? But again, it was just normal. It wasn't like it was all I knew. So, one pick you up from school, one help you with homework, one cook dinner, it was like a partner in the house. True, real partners. So I didn't think it was weird or odd. But once I got to school and started having friends and wanting friends to come over, or the friends would pick me up. I remember my one of my first best friends in kindergarten. I went to her house and her dad pulled me to the side. Her dad asked me, not even her mom.
And I know exactly who he was. He was so goddamn nosy.
Yeah.
Every time you turn around, he was asking questions. It's like,
he asked why. He was like, have you ever seen your moms kiss? Or do they sleep in the same bed? And I don't even remember if I answered. I just was like, what? But it's like, no, I never seen them kiss, because who see their parents kiss? Like, I mean, you might see your mom and your daddy. I don't know. I don't think I have any friends who they just seen their parents make out. Like, that's kind of odd. You know what I mean? But, I was like, I don't know.
What's sick? When you think about it.
It's like, why are you asking
a kid?
A kindergartner.
And that's the reason. I remember you coming home one day and telling me that he was asking you questions. And I said, well, you tell that son of a bitch, if he want to know anything, don't ask you. Come ask me.
Ask me about what's going on in my motherfucking house and tell him I said it. It was just like Kevin Hart. And I'm like, ooh, next time he asks me, I can tell him my mama said, you want to know what's going on in her house? You better come ask her what's going on in her motherfucking house. But it was just like, I remember from an early age, like parents, my friends didn't have an issue with it, but they would tell me like, oh, my mom said I can't spend the night at your house because your mom is gay and that's a bad influence. And I'm like, influence?
And at the end of the day,
our house was bigger and better.
The house was bigger, better, cleaner.
Right.
Your mom could, we wasn't struggling like their mom was, and we didn't have all these hang-ups like their mom had, and and we didn't have the issues that they had. So who in the hell house was better?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, who in the hell house was better? Everybody got these opinions and these stigmas about how gay families and relationships work when they don't know shit. All you got to do is get to know somebody and ask the question. Educate yourself rather than, being disinformed and having all of these fucked up opinions, and your opinions are wrong.
They are wrong. And I will say that, like, never being in that environment never made me be gay or want to be gay.
Right.
Like, it was other people. I will be honest with you. I knew I liked little boys. My first crush was the pastor's son. You remember, at church.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably like, I had to be like 7, 8 years old. I liked him, and then I liked Darius.
Well, no, you and him went back. You were the king and queens of the church in about 4.
Yeah, and I remember one of the deaconesses or whatever. I told her at like 4. I was like, "That's my boyfriend. He just don't know it yet." I literally told her that at like 4. She still tell me every time she see me. She tell me that, you remember you told me that. But anyway, so I knew I liked him at 4 or 5. Then I had a crush on, I think the lady worked at the post office or something. She was your homegirl. Darius was her son.
That was the older one that you were
no, Alice.
The church. On the next door.
No, that was Ty. Ty was my best friend. He wasn't. Okay. I never liked him. I think that was Nana's friend, Alice. And she had a son named Darius. Anyway, we were like the same age, but we were like maybe 8 or 9. I had a crush on him. So I knew I liked boys early on, but because of the ignorance people would say, they would be like, they acted like gay was COVID. Like, I was going to catch
it.
Yeah.
You better watch out. You're going to catch it.
Like,
time's running out. You got it.
Yeah, you gonna get it, or you're gonna grow into it. So I literally used to be thinking like, well, I guess, about middle school is gonna start kicking in. I'm gonna, like I was gonna grow another leg or something. Like eventually I'm gonna start liking girls, and it just never happened. I remember being in middle school and a girl tried to kiss me in the bathroom, and we were literally, I was like, whoa, like I like you, but not like that. Like you're my friend. And she got so offended and didn't want to be my friend no more because she was like, well, you're supposed to be gay. Like your mom is gay. You've been around it so long. So I say all that to say it's not contagious. You can't catch it.
No, you can't catch it.
And no matter how early, I know a lot of people now with media and film and television being more open and showing more representation on TV, people think
And you know
people
what?
think the earlier that children see gay, the more curious they will become, or the more they will be influenced to be gay. And I am living proof you can't.
Kids are kids. Kids just want to be loved. Kids want to be nurtured. They want to be taught. And that's what we as parents are supposed to do. Not fill their heads up with all the hatred and the bias and the bigotry. That's not what we're supposed to do for our children. Now, I will tell you this. We live in a society in the world where it was more acceptable in the Caucasian world than it was an African American.
For sure, everything always is.
And so it became more acceptable for gay men to adopt and have children than it was for black women. Black women, it's a stigma. Oh, and you know what? Unfortunately, a lot of that is within our own culture.
Yeah.
A lot of that ignorance is within our own culture.
I think our culture and our religion.
Yeah, we are so closed-minded till it's sickening. You have to just distance yourself away from those kind of people that think that way, and never associate yourself with them. And that's what I've always done. When I run across people who's got so much to say or not accepting or, got some opinions that I disagree with, and, we just can't, I don't see how, that energy is going to benefit me and my energy is going to benefit them. I just, part ways with them.
Yeah. And I have this conversation with my friends a lot too, because, now that we're at the age where we're becoming mothers and stuff like that, I tell them how I did feel like an alien for so long because I had never met anyone, one that was conceived the way I was conceived. I had never seen anybody on TV with two moms or never seen a depiction of that. So just like it's important for little dark-skinned girls to see dark-skinned women on TV or little black boys to see black boys on TV, it's important for everybody to be represented. Now, I do agree that we should not over-sexualize things. Absolutely. And that's not what we're saying. Like, you shouldn't see cartoons making out or doing, sexual activities. No. But there should be depictions of
good, healthy
relationships. Or this is little Susie and she has two moms. This is little Bill and he has two dads or whatever. I think that's okay because those people do exist. And I think the earlier that we introduce kids to different types of people, the less the stigma and ignorance develops.
Yep. And we've got to change the way the world looks at things.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an uphill battle.
Well, how do you feel? Like they say, like there's these new gay and then there's like old gays, like being an old gay. Notice that? What do you feel like there's difference now between new gay or like?
I've never heard the term new gay or old gay. I think that there's always going to be old gay. And there's always going to be new gay just because of the generation.
Time just keeps
going. The time keeps going.
Well, go ahead.
And I think that, the world dictates the difference. Mm-hmm. The times dictate what's different in the generations. But at the end of the day, gay or some of you people, I won't say you people, but some of the new generation call it being fluid. I don't know what the hell that means. I mean, either you.
I think fluid is more for bi.
Okay, so.
Yeah, I think that's the same. Like fluid means she or he might flow.
Right.
Whatever.
One way or the other. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. But I just think that the times dictates that.
Yeah.
I guess if you think about it, back in the day, I guess I would have been classified as fluid because I dated guys even when I knew I was dating a woman. It happens. It did, and then
You were toxic. Sounds like.
no, I wasn't. And then I eventually, but I was always honest, and I think in all our honesty, I think that one or two of the guys may have known, but I didn't really care. I mean, they liked me for me, and then we dated until we didn't date anymore, and it was what it was.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, what was you saying? Oh, you were fluid, but you said you think at one time one of the guys knew.
Yeah, I think they do.
How did they know?
Well, because I lived with the woman, and when I first started really dating my first girlfriend, it was very, very important for us, and we had an understanding that we were going to maintain our heterosexual relationships. That was important to me.
Okay, so you had an open relationship.
Well, I guess that's what you call it.
Yeah, that's what we call it now.
Yeah, it was
an open relationship.
Yeah, but we had an understanding that yeah, I love you, I want to be with you, but this is who I am. I dated these guys, and this is the guy that I was dating when you're not gonna, and I'm not about to give that up just yet.
Okay.
And likewise with her, she had a boyfriend, and we both dated for years. We lived together for years. She dated her boyfriend, I dated my boyfriend, and we lived together. We enjoyed
That's pretty
each other.
fab when you think about it.
We enjoyed each other. But of course, again, I say
I wonder if I can get men to do that.
You can probably get men to do that, but that won't work in today's world with you women. You think you're gonna let another guy date you and then go date another guy?
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if I could get you did it. Why I can't get somebody to do it? Niggas ain't going for that. They're not going for that. No. It's like, look, sweetie, we live together. We pay the bills, but look, this my side, nigga. That's what they call it now.
But no, that's a straight. What you're talking about
is polyamorous.
Yeah, it's just but it's still heterosexual relationship.
Yeah, I want a heterosexual open relationship.
Oh hell no, that wouldn't work.
But nowadays, men always feel like they could do it. They try to pull that, like, oh, you are my queen of the children here in this home, and then I'm gonna go have other women on the side. Or
he's a damn fool. that don't work, especially with black women. Okay?
We be saying it don't, but they still be trying.
Hey, that don't work with black women. Okay,
it don't.
Try it. Most of them will find themselves either in Grady's or with some grits like Al Green.
You know what? This generation, we don't pour enough hot grits on niggas. We need to bring that back. My grandma did that. We need to bring that back.
Back in the day, they used to pour hot grits and potash and shit.
I think potash. What is potash?
Oh, man, I'm telling my age. That was some type of boiler, something you could buy, and somebody got off the line. I've heard women would throw that on guys, men back in the day to,
I think women don't even know how to make grits no more.
Yeah, disfigure them and stuff.
I just swear.
But, nah, that wouldn't work.
Okay, so speaking of like new gays, right? There is I seen this happen like twice virally. Two prominently gay dudes that were openly gay came out and said that they not gay no more. Do you think that that's possible?
Yeah. I don't know if say that they're not gay no more. They just choose not to be involved with someone of the same sex anymore. I think that's possible because if I choose.
So you were bi all along.
I don't know if you call it. Well, I don't know what you call it. Bi. I mean, whatever term you want to put on it. But I do know that if I chose to date a man, I would date one.
I don't think a man would deal with you.
Probably not, because I'm probably a little bit too strong for them.
Yeah, you realer and stronger than most niggas these days.
I had a guy that I dated for many, many years, and it broke my heart. And we came out of high school. We dated all the way through high school, and he went off and married somebody younger than me and had kids by her. Whew, thank God, I escaped that bullet. But
not thank God.
I asked him one day. I was like, "Well, why we couldn't have got married?" He says, "I was just intimidated by you." I'm like, "What? What the fuck?" Well, he says,
"No, you're pretty strong."
And be stronger, motherfucker.
It's like, I'm not gonna weaken myself.
I'm not gonna weaken myself. I'm gonna keep.
Why do you think most of these men can't be stronger? What is that problem? Because even me, as a straight woman, as a heterosexual woman, I have found myself feeling like you're weak, or I feel too strong, and it's like I think a lot of that comes from how I was raised, right? But
upbringing. Men are not teaching their boys to be men. Women, we're trying to teach boys now how to be men. And hell, I'm going to tell them from a woman's perspective. I don't know how to be a man.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell my son and my grandson, how to survive, what to do. Things that I know a man should know, but there's some things I'm sure I don't know that a man knows to teach a man. But
it's not enough men raising men.
Right.
That's what the issue.
Absolutely, not enough men raising men.
So okay,
and they crumble
like
at the very sight of adversity,
like cornbread.
You're right, and they run and they crawl in the corners like little bitches, and that's distasteful. Like, God damn, bro, I got to teach you how to change the light bulb. Shit, you can't figure, how to fix. You can't use a drill, a hammer.
No.
A lot of men don't. I mean, but shit, will you at least try?
Right.
Damn, it doesn't nothing beats a favor to try. Try.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you.
Why are you seeing a man with a hammer in so long? That would be so sexy.
No, I see men with hammers all the time, but it just didn't seem the right. You ain't seen that many black men with hammers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's rephrase that.
Hispanics.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't give nothing for them, but we just, I don't know. They're just.
So back to this. So you feel like they didn't choose to not be gay. They're not gay. They're just choosing not to deal with the man anymore.
I think so.
Because that man, I have to show you this video. I'm pretty sure you haven't seen it, but he was like, I am delivered.
He was in church talking all of that. Yeah. I'm not gay no more. I'm not gay no more. I'm looking at you, damn fool. Come on, really?
Yeah.
So
you feel, but do you think that as women, I don't think any women will take them serious. Well, somebody will. It's somebody.
I know. Let me say this. I don't mean to laugh. But in one of my other churches many, many years ago, there was this pastor. He had so many feminine ways, and every time he preached, he would throw his coat and he would throw his hat and he would get to shouting and he would
not a queen.
All these. And he had a wife sitting on the front row. And this is no joke. I was convinced. Okay, she got to know her husband's gay. But he carried on as if, she was the daunting first lady and that, he was the manly of men. And anybody saw him coming down the street knew or let him open his mouth that he was gay.
Could tell.
You could tell. So I just say that, that was his preference. She loved him. Obviously, she married him for better, for worse. Or maybe they had an arrangement. I don't know. But I just know that, there is somebody for everybody. So if he chose not to practice,
gay.
I won't say it's gay is not a practice, but if he chose not to be in a relationship with anybody of the same sex anymore, and he chose to, deal with a heterosexual woman, then I'm sure he could find somebody that would.
Somebody be okay with it.
Yeah, somebody would be okay with him.
I think
him and all his tendencies, because the way he was, the way he was flaunting around in that church, hollering about I'm not gay no more. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. And I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever works for him works for him.
Yeah.
Not knocking him.
But I think there is a stigma because black women can be fluid or flow between, or women, period. I think women have more freedom to flow between male and female lovers. But men, women, we're like, oh no, once you go that way, you can't never come this way. Or they have to lie or hide it. Why do you think
that's the world that we live in?
Has it always been like that?
Mm-hmm. It's not being bisexual for men has never been acceptable.
Why do you think that's so?
Because of the expectations, I think,
of a man.
Men have always been expected to be the head of the house and the one that lay down the law, and the one that leads by examples, and the one that lives a straight and narrow.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of them have been able to even keep up with that facade.
Tough.
That is tough. Okay, so let me see.
I'm glad I'm a woman.
Clearly, because you've been flowing, honey.
What do you think about when you were growing up? Did y'all have? Okay, so as a gay woman, right? There's this wave now of like, what is it called? Non-binary. Do you know what that is? Like where you're saying, I don't identify as a girl or a guy.
I don't get into that but I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Okay? Damn that non-binary. I'm who I am. I am a woman.
Did they have that when you were growing up?
Yeah, and I can say it's always been that way because when you say identifying, that the culture has changed the words over the years.
Okay, what was it called?
Because back in the day, it was called women who were more masculine would call, I guess they would call butches or studs. Guys who were more feminine were called queens, queer.
Queen, yeah.
Queen. So the younger generation
drag queen.
they just changed the word, and
Oh, okay.
non-binary. So it just a play on words.
But I don't think that there were actual surgeries back then. It was just how people identified and dressed.
Yes.
There weren't physical, like, people are actually getting surgeries now. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. And there's somebody I think that
and that confuses the hell out of me. Because you got women getting surgeries to be men, but then they turn around and date women. What the hell? Why not just be a woman and still date a woman? So I don't understand it.
I think because they say they feel like a man.
Well, hell, you can still feel like a man if that's what you feel and still date a woman. So I haven't quite. I
want to say, would you ever go through anything like that?
Oh, hell to the no. I like everything God has given me, and I'm not changing nothing. Okay? I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm not changing nothing. And anybody that changes something, I don't think I personally would have an attraction to it.
Okay. So you could never date
I wouldn't have an attraction to it. I mean, if I'm gonna date a man, I date a man.
What if it was a man that changed their binary to be a woman? So now they identify as a woman and they have female genetically modified parts.
What sense does that make? If you're a man, why do you want to date a woman? I mean, if you're a man and you're going to change yourself to a woman, why date a woman? I don't understand that. That, to me, that's confusing.
It is confusing. I don't even, like, to formulate the question, it's like hard.
Right. I mean, so that, to me, I'm confused as hell.
But there have been, like...
I don't want... No. I want a natural, full-figured, woman. Okay. Everything she has is natural.
And you want to stay a woman?
I want to stay a woman. God gave me. God gave her. Okay. That's what I'm good with that.
Okay.
That's good fair. With just that.
What if...
what if my partner says, hey, my wife says, hey, I want to go get an operation. I'm going to be like, hell no. For what? We have, what problems, issues that we've had so far?
Yeah.
None.
That's crazy. I mean, no diss to anybody out there.
No diss. To each its own.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. That's funny. Mm-hmm. It was something else I was going to ask you, but I can't really remember now. I think we've been going for about an hour. Okay, so it's time for I Want to Know. What do you want to know?
What do I want to know? Do you think that when you become a mother, any of the values or things that I've taught you, you would not teach your children?
I would alter some, yes. There would be some tweaks.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I think that you did not teach me. We talked about this in another episode about like what I look like. Did it matter? I think that it does matter. I think how you present. I know you taught me to like be presentable, iron your clothes, and you know what I mean. Show up clean and smelling good. Hygienic things. But I think I will teach my child more about eating right, being physically fit. Keeping your hair, your nail. Well, you did do that. You made sure our hair and stuff was done too. But you know what I mean? Like the things that you would look at as vain, I know that the world does look at as self-love now. They look at like the world looks at if you're overweight, they look at it as you're letting yourself go. I notice not even just from being in media and entertainment, the difference of attention, resources, respect that I get when I fluctuate in my weight. It's completely different.
Okay.
The doors are just open now that I'm fit and fine. Especially with men. And when you're in male dominated industries as well, like I will teach my daughter to always be fit and fine, to never be overweight. Not to the point that I would make her insecure or I would chastise her for being heavier, because we're human, right? But I will let her know that, okay, you getting a little too far. It's gonna be a little, I will emphasize things like that. And just like the mental health aspect of it. I think that you were so hell bent on teaching me survival. Like, it doesn't matter, you're being lazy, and it's like, no, I could just need a break.
Okay.
I'm human. And that's okay. Like, who said, but of course, times have changed. I don't fault you for that. But it's just, I've learned I will take things you give me and add a little extra.
Okay. That's fair.
So I want to know, you kind of answered it earlier, but were you ever afraid or worried that I would be gay?
No, I didn't give a shit. Your sexuality to me didn't matter. I just wanted you, and I've always wanted you, as any parent, for you to be happy, healthy, and loved, and find whoever that partner is in your life to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. And if he or she couldn't do that, then as a parent, they need to get the hell on.
Well,
because I've always told anybody you guys have brought home, I've always told them my cardinal rule, hey, look, I understand you guys are taking this to the next level. And parents, don't be afraid to tell your children, boyfriends and girlfriends this. Hey, you see them now? Love them, take care of them, treat them. But the minute you abuse them or don't respect them or you have problems with me. And I meant that. I don't get into the nature of their relationships and things like that.
you nosy as hell.
I may be. You have to be. Don't be afraid to be. Parents, and don't let kids shut no damn doors around your house, okay? So be nosy. Kick them down if you have to. Better yet, do like I do. Take the some bitches off the hinges.
She did take my door off the hinges.
But, yeah.
Literally unscrewed it. The door laid on the wall for like 2 years on the side. It didn't close.
Absolutely. So, no. I was never worried about you being gay.
I have PTSD. Not just saying.
I know. I didn't worry about you being gay. I didn't care
what,
if you were gay.
I want to know, what would be your reaction if I came home and was like, I want a sex change?
I would say, Sabrina, shut the hell up, because you're just talking. That's what I would say. You're not going to say.
You don't care so much.
But I know you. And I know your sex change would be just your way of trying to antagonize me.
It would.
And it would be fine. Hey, just so you don't ask me to pay for it.
No, for sure. But to anybody out there, this might be a little TMI for you. But people out there who have these preconceived notions about gay, or like I said, they think you can catch it or you'll be influenced. I actually take gayness so serious that I've never even had a threesome.
I would hope the hell not.
No, people have threesomes all the time. I'm really weird. I'm like one of the only people that I know that haven't had a threesome.
You had a threesome, and that's not a representation of being gay.
I know, but I'm just saying,
being freaky.
I know, but I don't even play like that. I'm saying, and I know, like, I have friends that have done it with each other because they got drunk. I don't even get drunk and play like that.
I hope the hell not.
I don't, because I'd be like, girl, bye. Like, and I'm really genuinely not attracted. Now, I can't go to the strip club like everybody else, and I do think, like, some women are beautiful. I'm Instagram gay. Like, damn, your ass look good. Or, damn, you looking good as hell. Bernice Burgos, why is you still that fine? Or, I'd be like, your ass is fat. I say shit like that in the comments, but I'm never, and I might slap a girl on the ass, in the strip club, your homie's like, hey, what up, But I ain't never, like, kissed a girl or, like, ate a girl out.
Oh, that sounds so gross. But listen, Listen.
How was that, girl?
But listen.
You little carpet muncher.
Listen. I think that certain things remain in closed doors.
No, I'm just saying this to the world. That's why I say it might be TMI for you, but I think that it's important for people to know that because it's people who never grew up in gay homes that are way more curious or sexually fluid or try things. And I'm not judging them. Like I said, a lot of my friends do these things. I got friends that did it with each other.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. Yeah. I mean, y'all.
And they just friends now. It's just like we just got drunk and the nigga was there and they did it.
No.
But I don't even play like that.
I think that's too much information. I think that's too much. You're being too loose. You know, my mom used to say, you're being too loose. You're just being too fast ass for the most part. But I think that, you know, what you do in your bedroom and you behind your closed doors is certainly your business and your business alone. Everybody don't need to be in there. Everybody don't need to know it. And it ain't everybody's business. You know, and I think this all sleeping with each other and shit. That's why all these diseases and things floating around here.
Maybe.
Hell to the no. And see, what's mine is mine. I don't need to share it with no damn body.
You're right. You is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, y'all.
Let me tell you something. Them same little girlfriends that creeping with somebody else, so they're going to get mad when somebody else come creeping in the back door, or that one that you creep with go creeping without you, then there's a shit going to get started. So I would recommend not doing that.
But I don't want to sleep with none of my homegirls. You're not my friend.
No.
I did used to have this recurring dream of Beyonce rubbing her nipples on my back, though.
That is so stupid.
But I don't know why.
That is so stupid.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
She's not even like, whatever. Anyways, thank you for watching this episode of Mommy and Me Mondays. I hope that it was very informative, to say the least, and eye-opening.
Thank you, and please tune in again.
Yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Any questions you got below, drop them in the comments, and we will try to answer them all. Any topics you want us to discuss, let us know, because we're going to keep it going. Great content coming to you every single Monday. Turn on your post notifications so you don't ever miss an episode. Signing out.